Okay, I was on my morning walk and I had this idea. And if I was retired and had all the time in the world, I would totally go out and do this idea, but I'm not, and I have a bajillion things to do today. So I'm just gonna like document that I had this idea, and with any luck, I'll come back to this 20 years from now after I'm retired and I'll go do it. Or even better, someone will see this video and steal it and pretend that this was actually their idea and go and do it. And if you do that, I will totally pretend that you came up with the idea, because I just would rather live in a world where this thing existed. Okay, so here's the idea. Do you know the Tool Library over in the Heights? So the Tool Library is exactly what it sounds like. There's a building over in University Heights area. They might have a new building now, but it's full of tools. And you can just become a member. You pay like $10 a year or $20 a year. I don't know how much it is, but you become a member. And you can just go over there and check out tools. So and they got good stuff. Like, you go over there and you can just like take a table saw home for a weekend. They do safety classes there and everything. My sister has been a member for years and years. She lives in the city. She lives in the Heights area. And they got like a little itty bitty city yard. And she hasn't owned a lawnmower in like years, because she's a tool member library. Tool library member. She just goes over there and checks out a lawnmower, goes over, mows her lawn, brings it back. But they got tons of good stuff there. Good plumbing tools, yard care tools, tons of snow shovels and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so here's the idea, is a musician's library. Okay, so it's just like a building in town. You pay X number of dollars to be a member a year, and you go there, and it's full of gear. Like, yeah, instruments, guitars and keyboards and drums and all that sort of stuff. But like, you can also check out a PA system because you're going to do a gig at the park. Or you can check out like some pedals because you're thinking about buying some new pedals, but you want to mess around with them first, because we've all done this thing where like we saw a YouTube video and something looked cool and then we buy it, and then like we realize a year later we've only used the thing 4 times, and then we go and we sell it on Craigslist for like half of what we bought it in the first place. You could avoid all that if you just were like a music library member, and you can just go check out some of that stuff. And how would it make money? Well, the Tool Library, you pay to be a member. They sell safety classes. I think they do some services, but they also get a lot of grant money from like housing and development infrastructure type of stuff. I don't know if there's like that sort of grant money for like the public arts or whatever, but I still think that a music library like this could make money. You could sell bits and bobs like at the counter. Like, you can go and check out a guitar or check out a keyboard or a saxophone or whatever, but also like behind the counter, they sell strings, tuners, reeds, the incidentals, patch cables, headstock, whatever, like stuff like that, picks. You could be a place where people have lessons. You could rent out practice rooms. Maybe like if a piece of gear hasn't been checked out in a year, like, then you just leave it out on the counter and you say like, yeah, make me an offer. You can make little bits of money that way. I think there's little sly ways that you can pick up money here and there, and then just ask for donations, or occasionally you might get a grant from M&T, like for something local or something, whatever. But I think it would be cool, because I would love to test out gear. I would buy probably more stuff and have like a better kind of home studio setup if I was able to try out stuff in the first place. Also, I think it would be a cool networking thing. You just go and hang out, and we've all learned a lot of how to play our instruments and how to do sound and how to do production and recording. We've all learned a lot of that from YouTube, but you can't ask the YouTube video a question. The best you can do is like leave a comment or like go on Reddit and hope somebody. But like, it would be cool to have a place where you just hang out and meet people, and you can teach each other a little bit of whatever's here and there. And I've been trying to get into like little synthesizers over the last year or so, and that's fun, but it's like super confusing. You don't even know what terms to Google and whatever. So anyway, that's the idea. Please steal it. Okay, bye.